In the first few weeks of Assetto Corsa on Low Fuel Motorsport, this LMP3 Prototype Challenge has earned a reputation as being a bit of a crash fest. My last race at Le Mans was carnage, so I feel like I'm taking my life in my hands, not to mention my safety rating, by entering today's race at Road America. Once again I find myself in an LFM top split, and I'll be starting from P14 on a grid of 23. My lap time of 1:56.6 is more than 3 seconds slower than Leon Berndt in pole position, but I'm only half a second off Alessandro Pelone in 10th. If, and it's a big if, I can avoid the inevitable chaos, I may be able to challenge for a top 10 here, but surviving these opening laps is going to be critical. Let's get it on. Red lights are out, we're underway, and we've got a much better getaway than Mark Langer alongside us on row 7. That's immediately put us up one position into P13, but look at Daniel Hearn, he's got a better start than the pair of us. Hearn alongside and pass, so that puts us back down to P14. Congestion ahead, we've got to get on the brakes a little earlier, but sadly the drivers behind don't. Well, I said it was critical to avoid the carnage in the early going, but I've not even made it to T1. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for a worse start here at Road America. There was real congestion in the first corner. The driver in front braked a little early. As a result, I had to brake a little early, but sadly, the drivers behind got caught out. They didn't brake so early and ploughed into the back of me. Now, I'm the blue and white car just coming into shot now, and actually it looks like I get drilled by not one, but 2 cars behind me. Let's ride on board with Antonio Lopez. He was 2 cars back. Now that's Mark Langer just in front tucking in. He's on the brakes now. Lopez isn't nearly as early on the brakes. He ploughs into the back of Langer, and that pushes Langer into me. So a bitterly disappointing start to this race, but if we learned anything from Le Mans last time out, it's that there will be more carnage. This is a half-hour race. We've got to get back on track and see if we can salvage something. And that's exactly what I did. I rejoined as quickly as possible all the way down in P20 and around 4 seconds adrift of the pack in front. And it's like I said at the start of the race, there is every chance that this could become a crash fest. So as long as I'm out on track, there is the potential to pick up positions. No sooner do I say that, the yellow flags come out. So what will be waiting for us around this left-hander? Oh, utter devastation by the looks of it. It is a disaster zone out here. I reckon there's about 7 or 8 cars involved in that pile-up. I've managed to weave my way through it. And I've got some carnage on my inside now. I'm going to have to be really careful here because all of a sudden I find myself in amongst a pack of cars. Carnage a little bit wide. There's another car out on the grass to the left. We may get 2 positions here because we've got the run on carnage. Yeah, P14 now, and there's more carnage in front. Clouds of smoke. What on earth has gone on here? There are cars all over the place. And astonishingly, I found myself up into P12. I had to be really careful when I looped out around that last car because I've got Mantis Stanionis on my inside. He's still on my inside. I gave him a lot of space there, but he hasn't been able to get the job done. So we're going to be able to close the door here, stay in front of Stanionis. And while I've got the advantage, I'll probably go a bit more defensively into the final turn as well, just to discourage him from trying a lunge up the inside. However, I think it'll all be to no avail down this long start-finish straight here at Road America. There is lots of toe up for grabs. Look in the rearview mirror. Stanionis carrying loads more speed. He is going to breeze by down this straight. However, we do stay in 12th position. There must have been a driver in the pit serving a drive-through penalty. Well, I promised you carnage, didn't I? And boy, did we get it on this opening lap. We're watching some carnage. Oh, it's actually the driver in front who caused this big incident. I'm pretty sure it was Alessandro Pelone just getting out onto the gravel on the outside, losing control and sliding right back across track. And then from then on in, car after car after car, ploughing in. We're riding on board now with Matt Kingston-Lee. Matt was one of the few drivers to actually get it stopped. But of course, as soon as you get it stopped, you get drilled from behind by another driver anyway. It was such a simple mistake to make from Alessandro Pelone, but it was one with catastrophic consequences. Look how many cars involved in this, 7 or 8 at least. And it didn't end there. At the very next corner, it all kicked off again. Now watch Matthias Bartosek on the inside. He is going to get his nose chopped off completely as he tries this move. It's so difficult to go through there too wide at the speed you're carrying, and that is one massive shunt for Bartosek. Now it was Regis Legoff who was the unlucky driver who got taken with him. We're on board with Legoff now. He had plenty of notice that there was an accident unfolding in front of him, but he takes the gamble to gas it, and that gamble did not pay off. Right, back to the live action at the start of lap 3. We're still in P12. We've got Mark Langer within 0.6 of a second behind. However, we're not that far off a 3-way battle for 9th position. I can't quite believe I'm saying that considering where I was at the first corner, but yeah, we are well and truly in contention for a top 10 here despite what went on in the early stages of this race. And look how rapidly we're closing in on this group ahead now. We're just 0.4 of a second behind John Cena. It remains to be seen whether he displays any hustle, loyalty or respect, but we won't have to wait long to find out because we are about to start wrestling with him here. Oh, he's well wide exiting the corner, and we've lost back Kingston Lee as well, so all of a sudden that's another 2 positions gained. We are up into the top 10. Unbelievable stuff. Right, let's go back and check out a replay of that incident because I'm not sure whether Matt Kingston Lee lost it of his own accord or whether he had a helping hand from Mantas Stanionis behind. Oh, he did clip that curb on the inside. He was already spinning, but Stanionis helped him on his way there. Well, I knew there would be freebies up for grabs when I rejoined down in 20th position, but even I didn't expect to be inside the top 10 within 3 laps. And I'm wondering whether it might get even better yet because I'm closing in fast on Stanionis now. He's made a number of mistakes, outbreaking himself into corners, and look how close we are. We're right on his tail now. So I'm feeling confident here that I can mount a challenge for 9th position. I've got nothing to worry about behind because I've gapped Cena. He's more than a second back. And look at Stanionis, he is definitely feeling the pressure. He's made another mistake running out onto the grass, which meant he had to lift off the throttle, and that was an easy and overtake as I could have wished for. I'm up into P9. And yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with the progress I'm making here. We're still not even at 1/3 race distance, but we're going to jump forward a lap because just when I thought everything was going so well, it all falls apart, and I've got nobody to blame but myself. I've got good pace, I've opened up a 2-second gap over the cars behind, but inexplicably I turned in too early into this left-hander. I clip the curb on the inside, it unsettles the car and sends me unceremoniously into the tyre wall. And to add insult to injury, I make a complete mess of the rejoin as well, spinning up the rears on the grass. I'm really struggling to get back on track at this point. When I finally do, I'm down to P16. Well, we've seen several drivers lose it in this corner. There's a raised part of the curb on the inside, and as soon as you clip it, it's almost impossible to save. Well, we're jumping forward 7 minutes now. It's taken me the best part of 3 laps to reel in John Cena and give myself a hope of getting back inside the top 15. I'm now just 0.4 of a second behind Cena, and I'm closing in fast. The yellow flags are out again. They're almost being permanently waved in this race, but so far we haven't gained any further positions because of it. We got a little bit too close to Cena there. He braked really early going into T1. That threw me offline just a little bit as I had to correct myself to make sure I didn't run into the back of him. But I'm fairly confident I've got the pace to get around him before too long. Over the previous 3 laps, I've taken about 1 second a lap out of his advantage. We've also got a back marker ahead, Regis Le Goff. It looks like Regis is pulling over to the left to let us both by, so the pursuit of Cena continues. We're late on the brakes, a little bit too late. I have to run it out wide. Once again, I'm in danger of running into the back of Cena, but we are starting to put him under pressure now. Will he be rattled by it? Well, he's completely missed the apex and he's lost the rear, so we lift off the gas at exactly the right time as Cena careers off into the barrier. Yeah, it's a really tricky corner, this one. So easy to miss the apex as you come up over that blind crest. Cena was out way too wide there, clips the outer curb, and that's him into the barrier. And that's me back into the top 15, but unfortunately that was as good as it got. Over the final 10 minutes or so of this race, I had no chance of catching Mark Langer or Matt Kingston Lee ahead. So I'm going to take the checkered flag in 15th position. Very frustrating, actually, because I had a top 10 finish absolutely nailed on there until I made that careless mistake. And my race pace was a fair bit slower than my qualifying times too, but that's no great surprise. I picked up some rear aero damage in that first corner incident, and then I knackered my front too when I lost it in that tricky left-hander. But based on the sheer volume of crashes in this series, there is definitely a good result up for grabs here. I've just got to learn to keep it on the track myself. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again for the next one. Cheers.